and gentlemen, welcome back to the World Championship Series Europe Premier League. We are halfway through, or just a little over halfway through our Group B, and almost halfway through the round of 16. So far, we've had 3 players make the quarterfinals. James is back with me to discuss what we've already seen. And on your screen right now, confirmation in the gold box is none other than another European Zerg snoot. I tweeted out, European Zergs, too strong. Because they are right now. Why?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I don't know. Like Snoot performing as well he did in Seat Story Cup and just what he's been doing recently is really, really impressive and comes in with really strong ZVT. Don't know what to say other than that.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't make Jack-G look ordinary, but he certainly didn't give him any chance to get back into. I felt like the first and the third, I was watching it with Sean, and we felt like he was just starving him out of the game. He was just like, oh, I can play this game for as long as you want to play, mate, and eventually you're just going to run out of resources and I'm going to trample all over you. And he did the same thing. Game 1, Game 3 worked really well for him. He said he felt it was a bit boring, but he didn't care.
I didn't think it was boring.
I don't think it was boring either.
I was having the time of my life.
Quite.
It was good.
Yeah, those mutas and the Banes and, Burrows stuff. It was good fun. So we move on. We've got our lower bracket game. These two guys are literally on the edge right now. One of them's going home after this game. It's Grubby versus Dayshi. It's an interesting matchup for a number of reasons. They have played before, and it was very recently. It was in Seat Story Cup, in fact.
Yep.
They played twice in that competition, and Dayshi won 2-1 on both occasions. That's it. That's the only history we've got as far as Hull of the Swarm's concerned. Does it make any difference today? Or is this a totally different atmosphere, setting, gravity, what have you? Is there any difference?
I think in the end that those two results really show how closely they are matched and pitted against one another, because it's not like it was, clean sweeps, 2 0s to either one of them. 2 1s to Dayshi overall shows that Grubby has some fight in him against Dayshi. So personally, I can't really, I don't know how this is going to go. I can't call it, because obviously Grubby comes into this group having a lot of preparation behind him. Whereas Seat Story Cup, you kind of turn up and it's like, there's 16 players there and there's not as much to that in terms of the prep.
Okay. From Dayshi's point of view, it's really showed us a lot of personality. I mean, not everyone has known what he's like, and we know what he's like. The little wink, the little walk over to Todd and challenge him on a little bit of analysis. It's all part of the personality. I think he's got a fantastic personality, and I think he's got a great future in StarCraft. But right now, how does he look at this as a tournament? Does he think round of 16, decent, that's good enough for me? Or does he think, no, I could have done better?
Well, I will stake the claim of that this is technically his highest appearance. Obviously, there was that WCG.
Yeah, he was 5th to 8th WCG last year, but the field was it wasn't the strongest field, let's put it like that.
WCG is weird, man. That's how I see it.
It's gone now, so it's even weirder.
It's still like his top performance, I would say, for Dayshi. The round of 16 is obviously a very strong feat, especially since he defeated San during that round of 32. But now it's time to test his mettle. And if he was able to defeat San in the round of 32, Grubby might be also toppled.
Yeah, okay, that's a good theory. Hold that thought. We'll see whether you're right. You did go for 2 completely different players to win this group, though, didn't you? Just remind everyone.
I've got one right.
Yeah, you've got one right out so far.
But these are kind of the obvious go-to picks, I think, for this one. Like everyone yesterday was like, MVP in MMA.
I thought this was a tough group to pick. I think you're being too modest. But if you do want to challenge the predictions of our commentary team here, you can do so via Twitter, of course. Just keep the predictions coming and let us know who you think will finish first and Group B. Little bit of an advantage right now, because as long as you check the results out, you'll definitely get one of them right. But let us know who you think might go through alongside Snoot. Ooh, whoops, what did I just do? I gave it away. And we will maybe feature your tweet in the programme. It has to include the hashtag #WCS. We are moments away from finding out who advances through to play Jack-G for the final place out of Group B in the quarterfinals. It's Dayshi versus Grubby with Todd and Apollo.
Thank you, guys, and welcome to the caster desk once again. And we are now going in to an elimination match between these two players. One of them will go up against Jack-G for a shot to go through in second place here in Group B. The other, sadly, is out in the round of 16. Good news for him, though. With the changes in 2014, he will make Premier League again next season. Top 16 grants Premier League for the following season. But, of course, every player entering this group has the goals to be top 2, really.
Yeah, or to make it much further. If you make it out of this group, you have a good chance to make it to the semi, to the finals, or even all the way.
All right. Time for the map veto. As you've been watching the WCS for a long time now, it is a best of 3. You have the 7 map pool on your screen that you can play in StarCraft, and each player will have 2 vetoes each. Grubby starting off, and then Dayshi second, and then, of course, back over to Grubby.
Daedalus point removed by Grubby, apparently.
Out team by Dayshi.
When you play ladder, you remove Daedalus point because you don't want to play it against Zerg. And if you don't veto it, that's all you're going to play it against. So since most players only practice in ladder, that makes sense. I do that as well. Alto Team Stronghold, good map to multitask, to do a lot of drops. But we've seen Dayshi reluctant to, actually, not really in this tournament, but I've seen a lot of Dayshi's game because I really follow him closely since he's in the French scene. These days, he's been struggling with longer games and big macro games just because of his condition, I guess we could call it, where his muscles are hurting a little bit.
He lifted a little bit too heavy for himself.
It was pull-ups that really
pull-ups that killed him. Oh, Dayshi, you want to be a fit nerd, but you are a StarCraft player. I'm sorry. All right, Grubby taking a bit long on this second veto of his.
Dayshi, actually, in the match that I played against him a few days ago, I played a game against him on Alter Team in which he tried to go mech, and it didn't go well for him. I had like 10 bases, Mass Tempest, and Templars everywhere.
Oh dear.
And a mothership. Let's just say it wasn't very cost effective in that game.
It was a long game, I assume, very long game. So Polar Knight, second choice here from Grubby. There's that cheeky wink again. Dayshi, you need to behave.
Vetoing Polar Knight here makes sense because it's a map where defending drops is going to be hard. Taking a third is going to be harder than on the other maps that we have here in the pool. So also makes a lot of sense. And I think Dayshi probably is going to veto something like Heavy Rain, most likely. Unless he doesn't like Habitation Station. I don't think it's going to be Frost or Yunsu. But maybe Yunsu too, I guess. Then again, against a player like Grubby who doesn't do too many blink all-ins, you won't care as much.
Yeah, Heavy Rain. All right, so Frost, Habitation, and Yonsu are left over. We'll get the map order now. Grubby does get to choose the first map, of course.
I predict Yonsu first, Frost second.
Seems so. Seems so. I would.
A lot of joking around between those two guys.
I think Dayshi could be trying to get Grubby out of his comfort zone. His comfort zone is to close his eyes and think about what's going to happen. Frost is first, though, from Grubby, actually. And Dayshi gets to pick map number 2 now. Habitation or Yonsu. I think it might have been Habitation, if I can lip read well. Yes, I can. He's like, good luck, I'm about to destroy you, Dayshi. Time to end those giggles and winks. So my question over to you, Todd, is, of course, Grubby entered today with a game against Jackchi. Is his preparation going into Jackchi going to aid him and assist him against Dayshi?
Yeah, definitely. I think going into this group, he probably focused his practice on Terran, having 2 in his group. And I know he studied them individually a lot as well, because I talk with him often. And he's had a few games to study from. He's had those games that I played against Dayshi recently, which I'm sure he was watching as well. Dayshi has been struggling these days. It's been talked about. He lost 0-4 in a tournament he was the champion of, which is Underdogs, a tournament run by OGaming. 0-4 in finals. He was the defending champion. So going into the French championship against me, didn't seem very confident too. Lost 1-3. But then he did beat Elder Scott 2-0, but I don't think it's the same caliber here with Grubby. So I would definitely say Grubby has the upper hand going to this match, but Dayshi, he's shown some good things when he played against Snoot earlier. And not just the 2 racks. There was a few things that he did that were pretty good.
Yeah, imagine if he was like, all right, well, I'm going to win this fast. Let's do 2 racks against Grubby here. But we'll see how this is going to shape up. As mentioned, Frost is the first map. Cassandra, of course, Grubby's wife for quite a while now. You remember what BlizzCon year it was that they engaged and got married the following year? You remember what year it was? It's quite a long time now, I think. And hello to everyone who's come into the audience. I know you can hear our voices. It would not make too much sense if you didn't. That guy can't, though. That's for certain, with his wonderful headset on. Do you think that... we actually talked about it with Red Eye earlier. The last time a non-Korean won a StarCraft tournament was Snoot at Home Story in 2012, the end of it.
A Premier.
A Premier StarCraft tournament, sorry. You think we'll see that happen again? You think it's possible? Like, this would classify as a Premier. You think a non-Korean...
I'm going to answer this with a question. Did you see Vortex and Snoot's games in this tournament?
I did. Is that the same answer you're going to give me? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Do you think Grubby can be one of those winners? We've yet to see him win in StarCraft 2. You think it's
right
possible?
now? No, because the games that he played against Jack G did not go his way, and as opposed to Vortex and Snoot, he wasn't able to beat a Korean because it's gonna take beating some Koreans to win one of those titles. You're not gonna get to play only against foreigners, and it's gonna be tough.
Grubby's definitely, for me, when I look at him, I don't see him as a consistent high-place finisher, but he's absolutely capable of really strong runs. The Intel Extreme Masters Singapore in 2012, he got second place. He got top 4 in Season 2 in WCS last year. So definitely capable of these deep runs. We'll see if he can break through today because, of course, there's 2 Terran players in his way. A Frenchman and a Korean. You're expecting the Korean may not be so the Frenchman, but it is a Frenchman. And there seems to be a look of focus and determination from the Grubster.
The Grubtor.
The Grubtor. The weatherman, the real weatherman. I'm just the fake one. I'm the one that's on TV. He's the one that's actually the real one behind the scenes. He's the one actually telling the weatherman what to say. All right, both
you
players.
don't tell the weather, you tell the analysis, man. You're a knowledge man.
I'm a knowledge man.
I'm
a null man.
A sage, like
I'm
a
sage.
wise man.
I'm an oracle. I kill things fast and tell what's in the future. Looks like both these players decided to speak French to each other inside the game. And funny that, you can speak French.
Grubby say you want to cheat, bad boy. And then Dayshi say, no, my little... translated, it's my chicken, but it's a way to say like a cutie or darling. Just laugh. You can laugh if you want.
It was kind of a semi-cough laugh. I'm not sure what was going to come out, so I just shied away from that one. All right, introduction of these players. Down here in the bottom right-hand side, playing for Team Millennium, the cheeky Frenchman, it's Dayshi. Loves a wink here, loves a wink there. And down here to the bottom left-hand side of Frost, our 4-player map, it's none other than Grubby. The Grubster, the Grubtor.
Does Dayshi remind you of Stefano in his attitude and all that?
A little bit, yeah. Not quite as extreme, but he's definitely going down that way.
Stefano is like a little bit of a role model. He wants to follow in his steps, like not only in StarCraft, but like outside.
Daishi's like this 19-year-old. He's starting to do well in tournaments. It's all downhill from here, Dayshi. Where's Stefano now, Dayshi? Oh, gosh.
I'm a little bit surprised that Grubby never seems to wall off. Oh, he's going to do the thing with the probe. Boom! Through the pylon. Can you do this?
I can.
I can't.
I can moonwalk too.
You can?
No, I can't. No,
Okay.
of course not. I can't moonwalk either. I'm a commentator. I can lie, apparently, so I'll make things up as we go along.
Looks like Daychi's going for CC first. When he did that before versus Snoot, I felt like it was because he wasn't maybe confident. So he wanted to play a little of mind games, gamble a little bit, and try and get some kind of lead by playing a little bit greedy. But in Terran versus Protoss, this is not particularly greedy.
Yeah.
There is nothing you're going to die against on the 4-players map. On the 2-players map, if your opponent anticipates it, he could proxy, but not on the 4-players map. So Grubby not scouting here.
Yeah.
This is actually pretty good for Dayshi because he's going to get away with it very easily, and Grubby is not going to play greedy himself to be able to catch up.
Yeah, I feel as the player going command center first here is you always want to be sending out an SCV usually after the barracks completes because it's really important to get the command center down fast and then the barracks fast. You can wait for anything else, but he sends out a scout and SCV.
Yeah, and Grubby actually is scouting a little bit late, but he's still scouting. So sadly for him, he's going to scout his opponent last.
Yeah, and Daishi's going to scout first, which is pretty good news because he'll go in, he'll see one gas first of all and be like, cha-ching, nothing going to die to me early. And then he'll just be really considering what a potential follow-up of Grubby can be. But yeah, I think this is a great start for Dayshi.
I wonder how macro-heavy Dayshi wants to play. As I said, he's been, I think, rather reluctant to play big macro games on 4 bases. I think going to 2 bases, taking 2 medivacs, taking a 3rd base, and then being super aggressive, that's more his trademark, rather than going into big macro games, going to the late game. And for Terran overall too.
Why do you think Grubby scouts cross position? He briefly mentioned it to Claris, apparently, as Claris asked, but then he didn't want to tell him the reason why. Why do you think it is?
He must have figured something out that nobody else has figured out.
Wow.
Then why would he tell us loadings?
He is a game breaker. Why would he tell these inferior commentators what he's trying to do?
By the way, I don't know if you realized, but you called Jack G a gambler because he didn't have a 4th base.
Yeah, man.
Do you know how many people you've offended?
No,
What is that?
that's not exactly what I meant with that.
Yeah, I know. Just playing with you.
Okay, I don't like to play.
Relax, Sean.
Factory follow-up from Dayshi. Off command center first is a little bit unusual.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go for a starport and drop some Widow Mines. Dayshi is very good at that, but
Ew.
it's not your most typical follow-up against the command center first. But it could work out very well because Grubby
Yeah.
hasn't scouted.
Yeah, he's got no information at all. This could be command center first, one barracks command center, could even be a late gas. This is a little bit unfortunate there for Grubby, which would indicate he would have to play as standard as can be. He can't really adapt or change his strategy overall to what he hasn't seen.
SCV and a probe gonna meet here. I'm a little bit surprised that Dayshi sends out another SCV to the top right-hand side. Does he want to check for proxies or start a hidden base? I guess since this was spotted, going for a hidden base at this point would not make much sense.
I think
but
he's
it's Dayshi, man. He's a cheeky little Frenchman.
I think he's going to do it. I believe in him. He's on one gas right now. His minerals are lining up to do it.
He sees the probe, and what does he think? YOLO. I'll still do it.
Wow. Dayshi is taking some risks today. Obviously not feeling in the best condition, so looking for a couple of sly ways to get an upper hand.
Oh, he's actually doing the build. I didn't even realize until now. I should have called it. He has this build on this map where he gets a ton of Hellions, and it's actually really hard to shut down because if you move out too early, even if you have like 10 Stalkers, he's gonna have like 16 Hellions. He's gonna attack, they're gonna splash your Stalkers, and you're gonna lose a lot of them. In the tech tree of StarCraft, it says that Stalkers counter Hellion, but it doesn't really take in consideration how many Hellions there might be, and So it's going to be tricky for Grubby to defend well against this. The Hellions get into the main, but they shouldn't be able to get any kill, maybe one or two.
I guess the one good thing we can say about this is that Grubby did get that pretty fast robo and also has an observer very close to going inside the base.
Yes.
So he's going to be able to spot this and then start to build a wall, potentially a couple of pylons and so on and so on. So let's find out what his reaction is when he sees this.
He's already made a robo bait. This is similar to the game I played against Dayshi. I mean, he did this against me. Grubby saw those games. So from there, he probably already has made a decision beforehand when watching my game against Dayshi of what he would do. So now we'll find out in a second. I guess a good thing he could do is get Blink, get Colossus, take a third base, make sure he walls off his natural, which he's going to do. Make sure he defends well against the Hellions and go into macro game, because what happened in me against Dayshi is that I moved out in the middle of the map with a lot of Stalkers while Blink was on the way but not complete. And then I lost a lot of Stalkers to his Hellions, and then he snowballed completely because of that quick third base that he takes. Because that's such a quick third base. 8 minutes 20, it's already finished.
And Grubby, through not really playing against this and having a lot of experience against it, knowing the timings and stuff, has absolutely no idea about the third base. Sometimes as a professional, you can be like, wait a minute, something's not quite right with what you've done. But this is so unorthodox that he's not ready for this. He has got a sentry there to force field the ramp, but I don't think... Yeah. Grubby's not going to read into this third. Do you think that's going to pay a massive difference in this game compared to what you played against Dayshi with?
No, I think having seen my game against Dayshi, he should be able to tell him. Yeah,
did he do the same again?
No, he did a quick third, but not hidden. But now I think because of the position, he did it hidden. Just because of the position. Because when I played Dayshi, it was cross map. I was bottom left, he was top right. So
Grubby's looking for the third base on that third location, actually. He's moved his observer there, but doesn't see anything.
You think he's going to be able to realize that he's across the map?
I don't think so.
He saw the SCV leave. How could he not know?
I think if he knew, we would have seen something from him already.
Yeah, but what?
You don't think?
He sends a Zealot across the map to maybe make sure and confirm and try and prevent some mining?
What is his units count? He has...
I think
not enough.
You know what? An all-in with 2 or 3 Colossus and a lot of Blink Stalkers could be very strong here. Because behind this, Dayshi is supposed to get Hellbats and tanks, but he hasn't made a single one yet. He's on 3 reactors. And he's massing Hellions. Imagine even if he has 40 Hellions and he's facing 3 Colossus and a lot of Stalkers. How is it going to go?
Look at this. There's so many Hellions here.
Yeah. This is the time I moved out, but and I made this in the middle of the map. So yeah, Grubby is not doing the same mistake as me. Having done his research here, is really going to pay off, because he's not going to lose the game instantly like I did.
Crazy. 6 Hellions at a time here, and he's getting plus 1 attack. He's got another reactor on another factory. He's probably going to get Blue Flame, I'd imagine. I mean, I've got no experience with this build at all. I suppose he gets Blue Flame, right?
Yeah, well, it would make sense, since he doesn't need to get Siege in particular. I'm surprised that he goes for an additional reactor, by the way. He really wants to commit. I think he wants to commit to Hellbats, get a few tanks, and most of all, get Vikings. Because if he can take out the Colossi, then the Hellions and Hellbats on the ground with just a few tanks, they're going to do well enough against the Stalkers for him to be able to win. The thing is, he's going to need a ton of Vikings. And I think Grubby from there, even if he's taking a third, if he hits a good timing, this is going to be so hard for Dayshi to hold. But Man, this amount of Hellions, what the hell?
I know. I think Grubby might. I still think that Grubby doesn't know about a hidden third, but he just sent an observer to the bottom left and still saw no third. So I think that he's starting to realize this is definitely a potential here.
Yeah.
But look at that! Look at that! It's a lot of Hellions!
It's funny how Dayshi has 16 mineral SCVs on his main, on his natural, and he's cut SCV production at this point. He's just making them on his third base that's hidden.
All right.
Grubby sees this army and he still moves across the map. I think he wants to fight.
What is this? This isn't Supreme Commander? All right, here we go. Here we go. This is going to be an interesting fight. I've never seen this before. Everything is dying. The Colossus are getting fried. There are so many Hellions. I don't even know what to say. This is remarkable. Grubby's just lost 3 Colossus and all the Stalkers.
Army supply 69 to 28. Dayshi is really making this work right now. He's even going to chase down. There is a Stalker across the map that spotted this base, but that's not going to be enough.
It's too late. The cars have come. It's like micro machines or something from back in the day. What is this? Daishi's just wiped out a Protoss army in the middle of the map. Grubby's got a wall off completely to block his natural. He's got a third base down here. Citizens arrest on this Stalker.
He's getting +2 as well. Whereas for Grubby, upgrade-wise, we have only 1-1 at this point.
I'm so
That's a sick
mind-blown.
build. That's a sick build. On this map, imagine with the amount of Hellions you get, you're always going to get a clear surround. This is what happened to me. I moved in the middle of the map with only Stalkers. He had more Hellions. He surrounded my army and he crushed it. And that's what happened again here. I was skeptical about the engagement, I have to say. But then I saw those Colossus and Stalkers get splashed from those Hellions. That was a very scary fight.
Oh my god, I can't believe this right now. Grubby is 50 supply down. He's 92 supply, Daishi's got 92 to 46. And whatever fight we're going to see next is going to include Vikings and tanks.
Oh, those 2 Stalkers are stepping out of line, man.
You are out of line. It is time to be punished by Daishi's Hellions. Goodbye, Stalkers. Oh. This is a difficult one. And then, of course, you've got the... I was thinking you've got the potential of run-bys too on the left-hand side. He's just like, all right, well, you know, I can spare 4. I've got 40.
I really like Grubby's choice of going for the +2 attack, by the way. The +1 armor is completely useless at this point against the mech army is facing. I think Dayshi, from there, he secures himself a 4th base and he's going to keep on attacking. He knows he's ahead, I guess you could say, economically, because he has the mules and they have the same worker count, about the same. And I think if he just keeps on attacking, Grubby only being on Stalkers and Colossus, he's just not going to do well against Vikings and this heavy of a ground army. The supply lead is good enough. This is what happened in Mir versus Dayshi as well. He kept on pressuring behind this. I was getting actually a lot of Archons to help and defend since there was no Ghost. But it didn't matter. His production was too great. And when you keep on attacking like this, you're going to be able to overrun somebody who has less supply almost every single time.
And this is, this is just bizarre.
Yeah,
we rarely see this.
Grubby's doing something very smart, by the way. He's sending Stalkers across the map by themselves to snipe some SCV. So even if Dayshi sends Hellions to defend, their SCVs are going to die before that. And
Grubby needs to hold on versus this attack. He's got 4 Colossus. He does have a time warp, which will help against this to slow these hides from getting close.
If he can reach Archons, he would do a lot better against this army, but I don't think Dayshi's going to give him the time. The supply lead is too great right now.
All right, some Force was that's actually pretty good Force was there, and a fantastic time warp too. So this is a great start here for Grubby. The Colossus doing so much damage here, and he's trying to target down these Vikings to keep the Colossus alive, but there's 5 Colossus. This army's not looking as good now. And
a lot of the tanks are not shooting, to be honest. If Grubby was to pull back just a little bit, which he does now, he's going to keep his Colossi alive.
Yeah, and he warps in quite a lot more.
The Viking count has been reset. It's down to 3 now.
Yeah.
So Grubby's going to hold for now.
But still, 6-7 tanks here. That's a lot of tanks.
But he cannot really go forward. He needs to wait for reinforcements. I think he's going to go forward. Grubby, start Storm. Are you kidding me? You don't need Storm. You need Archons. What are you doing?
He's only on 6 gateways. It's not like he has a lot of production either at this point. It's very, very low. And I suppose Storm's not going to help out that much at this point. And he gets armor upgrade.
No, Grubby, what's...
Maybe he wants to storm the mass Hellbats,
Step aside and let me play, because that's... That is not what you're supposed to do here.
Well, he's actually stopped the command center from the top right from being mined from, and he's got a 4th base on the way.
Oh, he never had thermal lens. He starts it now.
Oh, my face just, my jaw just dropped. Well, that's
I did not even realize. I guess he didn't have that much gas because he was getting not a single Zealot, only Stalkers and then only Colossi.
I suppose, you know, mistakes happen like this when you play such an unorthodox game. You're not expecting, you know, your whole build is just on the fly. It's reactionary. And
you know what? He wasn't supposed to be able to complete that that storm, but because he reset the Viking count, Dayshi kind of chickened out and pulled back. Well, the Stalkers, they are going extinct this game. Let's just say that. They've been dying left and right. But now he's going to complete Storm, which, if he can get a lot of Templars out, he has 3 out right now, and Dayshi completely butchers the fight. There is still a chance Grubby could come back. I guess Stormland is going to help as well, because not everybody can win games without. Who was that guy who didn't make Stormlands an entire game? SOS? Was it SOS?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Yeah, it was SOS.
New meta, man.
Look at this. You guys have also been caught doing naughty things, and you are going to be taken care of by these Hellions, and the Stalkers get obliterated here. But let's look at Grubby's army. It's 5 Colossus with Thermal Lance in a minute, 10 Stalkers, and quite a few High Templar now being added into the mix.
You know, Dayshi is really missing some ghosts with this. As strong... This is ridiculous. He's getting +3 vehicle upgrades here. Attack. For his tanks.
Amen.
This is not your typical game. It's not your typical PvT. This is something new.
A little bit funky. A little bit funkadelic, if you know what I'm saying. All right.
Oh, he's unsieged.
He is right now.
He's unsieging.
Grubby's going to go in
front.
The Hellbats are at the back. I say the reverse of what you say. Storms do come down at the front there, not really getting anything. There is an observer right on top of this army, so Grubby sees absolutely everything. If he unsieges again and moves forward, Grubby will probably jump at it.
Yeah, and I think Dayshi is still as a sick lead, just because +3 is about to finish. He's going to be maxed out. If he leapfrog forward, he's French after all. He's going to be able to do pretty well against this army, as Grubby is going to have to engage into him at some point.
But if he rushes it like everybody else who isn't French, he's going to be in trouble. You got to take your time. Couple of Stalker harassment down here, just blinking up and down these cliffs.
He's just trying to kill SCVs, but at this point he's helping Dayshi.
Yeah.
Dayshi doesn't need SCVs.
Yeah, that's true. He's got quite a few orbitals, actually. 4, 5 orbitals, 6 on the way.
A lot of red SCVs in the third base of Dayshi. Zealots are going to come in there. At this point, I really think he's helping him. I'm surprised Dayshi didn't make some Widow Mines.
He's got a couple with the army.
Yeah, I mean, like, to live near those bases. Like, a lot of Terrans do that nowadays, and it's really good.
Oh, Grubby's got a big warp inside the main base here. Quite a few Stalkers mixed with Zealots.
Oh, this might queue for Dayshi to counter-attack. He's sending the Viking. Okay, he could actually defend with only the Vikings. Takes out the Warp Prism and then lands.
A lot of his army here. This man.
Grubby has an observer just right above this.
Yeah, and he sees the unsiege. It's time to go. All forward steam. And he jumps in straight away here. Storms on the left, and immediately Dayshi sieges up again. And Grubby's like, okay, back. It's not time to attack yet. That's still quite a strong army.
This is like the intro video of Heart of the Swarm, where like the tanks siege and shoot from like super far. Except it's the other way around. It's the Protoss army that's
the Protoss army.
Not the Zerg army that's overrunning him.
You just spoiled the Legacy of the Void trailer for everybody. Why would you do that? I know you have ties with Blizzard. Thank you very much, Todd.
I'm a little bit surprised with the second Forge. I really think armor upgrades don't help Grubby all that much, but Grubby, he has nerves of steel. He's taking a 5th base right now, and
he's coming.
I think he realized that if Dayshi attacks into him,
he's about to attack. He sieges up. This is very dangerous here for Grubby. There's so many Vikings.
The army supply, look at it. 130 to 85.
How can you get to the tanks? He needs to have Zealots come from the other side or something. He needs something to get to these tanks. The Hellbats are going to tank. The Vikings are going to kill every single Colossus that steps even remotely close. Nope, an aggressive blink down there from Grubby actually pushes back some of these Vikings.
Maybe that's what the 5th is for. It's the new 3rd.
It's the new 3rd. He's like, I don't need this.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. He's transferring the probes there now.
And well, a counterattack from Grubby's going to go on, and he needs to find the right fight to take. Without the right fight, he will die. He'll lose everything to these tanks.
This is what Grubby has needed for a long time. A second Robo and lots of Immortals. Colossi are not good against this kind of economy. You need a ton of Immortals, and you need to take a good attack from any sides, a good flank. At this point, Dayshi's setup is just too good for that to happen. And those run-bys, he's finally handled them pretty well. He's left some units back at home. Grubby keeps on trying though. Look, another Zealot headed for the 3rd base of Dayshi.
Alright, how is Grubby going to fight this? Or is he going to fight it at all? He's got to find some way. Tanks are going to split up actually. Tanks and a couple of Hellbats, I think, are going to move north to pick off these external bases while he keeps Grubby back on that 3rd.
Oh, the Mothership Core is going to come out just before the Nexus dies here. Do you think Avilo is like watching this like as the happiest Terran in the world right now?
Probably not. It's too aggressive.
Took me some time, but I get it now. That chunk of army is not going to do all that much here. I guess he's going to trade. Oh, this
is going to give Dayshi a chance to, even though he's losing a lot here, which is pretty good. Yeah, you can go straight for Grubby.
And he will catch those Archons. I think Grubby's going for the flank. Oh, he's not sieging. Grubby might go for the flank I talked about. If he catches this army in the middle of the map, on siege in particular.
Well, he sees it. He's
This
got
would
the
be Grubby's
opportunity to
chance.
go for it. He's going to attack in here. And there's one attack from the north, but where's the one coming from the west? He blinks aggressively into the tanks here. And it looks like he's got a pretty decent surround. It was kind of late, but these outs get right into these tanks.
Oh, the unit from behind came too late here for Grubby. And Dayshi is still going to do okay against this. The Vikings even landing.
Oh, this is not looking good. We need some more reinforcements, please, Grubby. He's still got a lot of income. If you think about these two bases on the left-hand side, he's still
look
up
at the
there
gas.
with Dayshi.
Look at the gas for Grubby. This is getting scary because he could get a lot of Archons out.
He
and
needs
there's
to
no
build Archons. Now, Todd, he needs Archons. He's got the gas. Come on, Grubby.
He's still getting Colossus from his Robo, though. When he knows there's this many Vikings,
that's a mistake. I
they have
agree.
+3 attack. This is not one of those bio games where they have only +1, only +2. +2 starts being a little bit much, but they have +3. Imagine how fast these Colossi die.
Just like that.
Yes.
Just like that.
And I'm actually surprised Grubby is not making a Nexus on the top left-hand side, but I guess he wants to make sure he gets enough units to defend. He's getting Stalkers. Grubby, this is not the way you play against this. You need mass Zealot Archons, even though there's actually not that many Hellbats left.
No, that's a nice storm there. Does pretty much maximum damage from that one storm.
He might go for a flank. If he warps in units next to that base that's being under attack.
Free units, everybody come around, free units.
You said free units and I thought Swarmers for a second.
No, donated units, should I say. Donations anyone. And a couple of units do go down in the center there, and Grubby does chase it back, but he's still trailing by 40 supply here. He's going to take a fight here.
And Dayshi's going to be the one flanking the army from two sides.
Yeah.
He's coming from behind, I guess. Not on purpose, he has to defend.
Okay, well, Grubby's going to fight this, and I think this is not too good for him here, to be honest. There's 5 Immortals, which is fantastic, but there's a lot from Dayshi. Grubby's trying to run away, and I'm just going to tell you that High Templar, Immortals, and Archons are not the fastest units, so he's not going to get away too much. But then again, he's getting chased by Hellbats, so not going to be able to do too much there.
And there's 4 tanks across the map still preventing mining from that one base.
Oh, look
Grubby.
at this. Oh, the Viking surround.
Oh, wow.
You aren't going anywhere, Immortals. They're like, get out of the way, please. You're armored units. And even the tanks actually getting dropped off in front of the Immortals there. The shield's down on one, and likewise the hit points will follow shortly. But this is going to be an attack which Grubby has to hold on to. He's still behind by 40 supply.
Dayshi is down to 32 SCVs, but I don't think he even cares. He could just fly one of his command centers somewhere. He still has a great supply lead. Grubby actually attempting to retake his third. That's pretty ambitious, to say the least.
Yeah, it's a brave move. Let's put it that, a bold move.
Oh, he defended with probes against the tanks on the top left.
Oh, I don't even know. I don't even want to see how that went down. 140 supply to 98. Grubby's got an army.
He's warping in Stalkers.
One. I know you don't like that move.
This kills me so hard.
I know, it's okay. Let's just take a moment of calming down together.
He spent all of his gas now, so Grubby's up to 0 Archons because he lost the one that he had. But he has 6 Templars, so he's gonna have to choose how many he keeps in Templar form to storm.
Yeah, you need to get the right storms here, Grubby, because that's pretty much all you have. And Dayshi's army is looking pretty unstoppable. If you think about the low SCV count...
Is he gonna base raid? It's gonna be the same situation. Dayshi's gonna have units. Look, he scans the army, he sees it. So he's gonna send units back at home, he's gonna leave enough to defend against this, and even if he doesn't, he can...
Yeah.
So Grubby realizes that this is gonna be the case, and he's gonna go for this army of Dayshi, but I think there's too much.
And Dayshi's just cutting off the lifeblood of Grubby here, which is these top bases. And when these go down, Grubby simply has no income. All right, oh gosh. This attack is not exactly the biggest attack a Protoss could make. Very
This base is
slow.
gonna be sniped even before the army gets there, so I think Grubby just... he cannot even make a decision. Look, he's being scanned. His army keeps on being scanned. He's like, can you stop this? I want to attack somewhere. I don't want you to know where it's going to be.
He's like, no, I actually have 7 orbitals. I'm not going to stop anytime soon. 6 supply now to 85. What a wild game number 1 here. Absolutely berserk. I didn't expect to see this from either player.
Ooh, Zealot in the third base again, but there is a tank there.
Yeah, tanks and reinforcements not too far away.
Splashes on SCVs.
Yeah.
We baited that. Boom. 2 kills.
But I'm still finding it very difficult to think how Grubby's going to approach him fighting this army. He's waiting for Dayshi's army to bottleneck through that ramp at the north, but that's not going to be the case. Dayshi's gone the long way around.
I actually wonder, because I faced this strategy for the first time myself and I lost, I thought that this is something that you can only lose to the first time because you don't know how to face it. But then the second time, how do you play? Because for Grubby, as much as he hasn't played against this before, he did see my game against Dayshi in which this happened, so he must have prepared some kind of plan in his head and he tried to execute it here, and it wasn't good enough. How do you play against this, Asprotos?
God, I'm just a commentator, man.
Nice dodge, Apollo.
Oh, this is... I would suppose it's just a very, very slow game from the Protoss. You'd have to kind of match the slowness of the Terran, but...
Dayshi getting chased and he's not sieging. He's trying to get into a better position before fighting. I'm a little bit surprised.
I wouldn't even be surprised if Dayshi could win this without sieging, to be honest. There's so many units here.
Oh, you know what Grubby's going to do? He's going to keep on running around and try and storm as much as possible before getting the engagement. And because he doesn't have the best mobility ever, but he's as fast as this mech army, I guess you could say. And if you keep on chasing a Protoss army when he has... How many Templars is that? 5?
Yeah.
You're going to hit a lot of storm. You're going to get showered down.
That's your free damage. That's your free unit storms.
Please.
Please, I'm a Protoss. Don't make me angry thinking about Stormhost again. Still, this harassment's been good from Grubby, but he's going to have to fight this army eventually. Look at that big red blob.
You know, Dayshi's running out of minerals. He's down to 30 SCVs against 23 probes.
Dayshi's going to force the fight. He's forcing this now. He's like, come on. You're going to lose.
He has only one medevac, by the way. This is a mistake. He needs more for his Hellbats.
Yeah. All right, so here comes the patient leapfrog. 3 tanks at a time here, edging towards Grubby's last mining base. And once it's under siege, Grubby has to go. Turrets are down. Just a little bit of buffering there, a little bit of extra damage, whatever he can get, just maximizing the Ravens here. And Grubby has to fight. If he doesn't fight, what is he going to do? Not mine and sit back and turtle on 2 bases where it has no income? No.
He's actually long distance mining from that other base. That's not a very good plan.
No. The body hop continues forward, the slow and painful.
That guy's like, send me in.
He's like, come on, Grubby, let me go in. Grubby's like, all right, good luck. And immediately he dies, and Grubby moves forward, and this is triggering Dayshi to come to him. The storm goes down and push him back again. And
as much as I like the idea of trying to lose only the shields on the Immortal to try and deal damage with the Colossus and Storm, there is just too much.
Yeah. It's, there's a lot of tanks here, let's just put it
the Hellbats actually moved out of position here for a second. And, the Vikings are going for it by themselves. They're going to get stormed. I don't think Dayshi cares. There's none. Where are the Stalkers? They're idle. Not doing anything.
You traitors. All right, that Colossus is dead. And that means that...
the Stalkers are like, why did you warp in? Why did you warp in? I'm not supposed to face mech.
I know. I'm not going to fight for you. I'm not meant to fight mech. Grubby's still looking at every opportunity possible to get a good fight here, but look at it. Look at that.
Yeah, he's down to so few units at this point. 5 Immortals, 3 Stalkers, 4 Templars. He's going to go for it.
Yeah, he's not going to beat this. GG. Dayshi takes map number 1. Very unconventional, very different, very Dayshi, I'd like to put. A bit of personality in that game. A bit of personality in there. And don't wink now, because if you wink like last time, you ended up losing 2 games to 1, Dayshi. Don't wink. So it's your curse. And Grubby's like, I can't believe that. And now has to win 2 games in a row to survive in the loser match, and then has to play against Jachi if he gets through there. So a tall task. A tall task.
1 match at a time.
Yeah. Grubby getting some words of advice there as Dayshi probably looking at the graph of the score of the game and saying, not bad. Not bad, yeah, not bad match, yes. I'm quite happy with this one. Or as you say in French, oh, très bien, très bien.
You do a terrible French accent.
Je m'appelle le commentateur. C'est Apollo. As we get ready for map number 2 now.
Calme-toi.
Calme-toi? Ah, yeah, oui, oui, senor. Ah, wrong word. I've done it again. Monsieur. Habitation Station. Is this a map where we could see the same again from Dayshi?
No.
Okay. That was done fast.
Yeah, this is a build they only do on Frost. Actually, if you come to think of it, Terrans, they only do this kind of mech build on Frost ever. Remember Major in Sao Paulo with the mech build? I think it was against A-Bomb.
Yes, I think so. Yes, on the same map. Yeah. Frost, yeah. So as far as I know, Dayshi only does that on the one map. But wouldn't it be the sickest mind game if he did it again? I don't even want to think about it. It's out of my brain.
Grubby would have another shot at trying and defending. And if you think about it, with the very quick third that you get, imagine if he gets the gold with that. It's like 10 factories pumping out Hellions. He's like maxed out on Hellions 3-0 at the 12 minutes. Stefano style with roaches.
the new Terran, the chosen one. Lead us, oh chosen one, Dayshi. Show us the way to max out at 12 minutes or 11 minutes. That's right. You show us the way. You show us the way. Oh, these winks. He's cursed himself. He's cursed himself. It's funny because Dayshi's a guy that I could see in a film. You know those bad guys that go down by the cops, but they go down so happy and the guns blown everywhere? Dayshi's like that guy who could bomb out this group, but just go down with guns blaring and winks going everywhere and smiling all the way.
He would wear that shirt too.
Yeah, he would wear that shirt. There'd be bullet holes everywhere in that shirt, and he wouldn't care. Oh, Dayshi, you are a funny guy. Going up against Grubby, who is going to fight up against Jack G in the next game here. One of these two players is going home. What's Hellion in French?
Tourmenteur.
Tourmenteur.
That's a horrible name. I got He got tormented as well.
He did. All right. Introductions for these two delightful players, making it a fun and interesting evening for us all. Up here to the top left is the Red Terran playing for Team Millennium. It's the Hellionator. I don't know what just came out of my mouth. It's Dayshi. And to the top right here is the blue Protoss. It's, of course, none other from Holland, Grubby.
I'm a little bit surprised, again, that Grubby did not react a little bit better to this. The 3 Colossus plus a bunch of Blink Stalkers attack. I like the follow-up, where he sent units a little bit everywhere to try and do some damage, but he revealed it a little bit too early. And then it got into this rhythm where every time those units reached the bases of Dayshi, he was ready. He had units nearby and he defended well enough to basically not fall down to, like, say, 15 SCVs. In which case he would have been in trouble. What's so funny, Apollo?
You're saying what you're saying, but the only image I have in my head right now is, you know, Darth Sidious from Star Wars?
Yeah.
So imagine Darth Sidious with his cape on, but it's actually MVP's face with his fingers going like this, looking at that last game going, yes, young one. As Dayshi does this weird mech play that makes sense for him and works.
You have a very disturbed mind.
I know, I don't know why. I can just see MVP just dressed up as a Darth Sidious.
The Dark Lords.
The Dark Lord
surely
MVP
appreciate this one.
On his flight back to Korea right now, watching this on the Wi-Fi, saying, yes, go forth. Oh, I don't know what's going on in my head.
Okay, Dayshi opened with a gas, but it looks like he's going to be a quick factory here. He's getting Marines. What do you think he goes for here? Maybe if he goes again for the same kind of very quick factory, do you think it means he goes for something similar? Before it was the command center first. So like the entire build is thought out beforehand with the command center first, the factory, and then the quick third command center.
I think it's very difficult to incorporate what you do with the command center first with a different opener, because it obviously, unless you've practiced a different opener with the same strategy, is going to be more difficult to accomplish. So I don't know what to expect, whether it be factory or just regular barracks play, or if he tries the same style again. Grubby has a weird positioned probe. It's kind of went down the middle. Is he looking? As a Protoss player, do you see like proxy structures in here, or is he just dodging the watchtower?
Yeah, I think he was dodging maybe the Reaper that would have been there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because it like
it goes through the middle. Okay, that makes sense.
And I like that Grubby did the wall in this game, but there's no Reaper, so it's going to be useless actually in his base. And that SCV, crouching SCV, hidden depot. No, not really.
Waiting to strike. Hidden scouts. That's a pretty good location for that SCV. It can poke in, hopefully. Maybe if Grubby can stop it, this is nice, because he doesn't want to just give the robotics facility away. Oh, it's on hold position, so it's just sat there. That's nice. Not to just give the robotics facility scout away.
I think quick starport for sure here.
Starport? Oh, I'm sorry. My brain said Stargate. You said Starport.
Okay, yeah, no, for Dayshi, I mean, because he's getting, look, he's getting Widow Mine, so...
Yeah, it's a factory follow-up here, so a couple of Widow Mines and Marines, by the looks of it, pulling full back here. Unless he's anticipating potentially Oracle, so maybe it's just 2 Widow Mines. Dedicating Marines to this as well is a little bit risky.
Yeah, there's nothing at the front, by the way. No bunker. He's got 4 Marines up the ramp, but it's going to allow Grubby to poke up the ramp and see the timing on that command center, and he should be able to know that there could be a factory with this.
Yeah.
I like how he's staying there. He's like not even getting in or isn't anything, trying to shoot down SCVs.
Yeah, Dayshi comes back. I mean, Grubby's got a Forge on the way. He's got the Observer on the way. So he's got all the tools necessary. He's also got a Pylon on the edge of his base too, which gives him that little bit of extra spotting range for a Medivac to come in. And even a Stalker in position too. So this is going to be a little bit difficult for Dayshi to make work.
And Grubby has played this the safest opener that you can get. You queue 3 Stalkers in a row before Warp Gate finishes, so you can get a 4th one at about the time this kind of Medivac drop pull hits, unless it's like being super rushed with a gas first.
Dayshi's deciding to go on the ground though. After seeing the units inside the main base, he's like,
he's going to drop the Widow Mines only, maybe.
He may rush the ramp with the Widow Mine and then use the Marines. You don't think?
Yeah, that would be suicide, I think.
Ooh, okay.
Would be pretty bad.
Well, let's find out.
He's waiting with the Medivac. Yeah, you're right, maybe. He's maybe waiting for...
Well,
he's
the
going to
Observer
wait.
sees it, and he's got Photon Overcharge. Oh, the Observer's gone, but...
Oh, wow. Since he got the Observer, he could have maybe borrowed the Widow Mine, but it was being targeted down by the Nexus here.
Yeah.
And that Medivac was spotted, but the problem for Grubby right now is that he doesn't have all that many units to defend in the main. He used the Photon Overcharge in the expansion. He's not going to have one for the main.
Do you think that, I mean...
An elevator will be sick here.
Yeah. How much energy does he have? Oh, he's 25 energy away. That's quite a lot here. He does still have Stalkers, but... Oh, this is difficult.
The Medivac.
He gets the Medivac.
Does he pick up the rest?
Oh! 4 Stalkers here. One
elevator
gets targeted down, and the Stalker controls okay. It's not the best there. There's one to get picked off there, but that's a lot of Marines.
87 energy.
That's a lot of Marines here. He's starting to get into the probe line. 2 Stalkers have gone down, 2 remaining here. Still not enough energy for a Photon Overcharge. 3rd Stalker almost dead. And it is gone, and a lot of probes have been killed now, and more about to go to the slaughterhouse. And oh dearie me, this is not good at all here for Grubby. The last Stalker, so 4 Stalkers.
He's killed 11, 12, 13.
14.
Gonna get even more probes.
15. Cat sang, well, I don't know. I don't know French. I'm really sorry. I used to be able to count very high in French, but I've forgotten everything. The Marines are gone. Well, there's 2 Widow Mines on the natural too, and there's no units left. He's got the Photon Overcharge, but if these Widow Mines burrow the probes, okay, he's going to move them. That was a little bit #Dicey, featuring Rotterdam right there. CC Rotterdam. 2 Widow Mines in good position here on the natural. This is just... Grubby's not mining properly right now. He is not in the best
there's a
of
Widow
shape.
Mine behind the middle line of Grubby. If he does not realize that and sends the probes there, you think he knows? Yeah, I think he knows.
Yeah, he knows.
Oh, he needs to react quickly. The probe. Oh my! Almost. I saw my whole life flashing in front of me, and I think he did too.
What was the one memory you wish to hold on to, Todd?
When I lost to Grubby in the finals of the.
He's like.
When I went all in that one time at the poker table, and I thought I had the nuts.
And I didn't. All right, so Dayshi has allowed himself... when you play like this with Dayshi, you are always very vulnerable to potential counterattacks if you don't get anything done, because you delay your stim, combat shields, and just engineering bay for so long here. But he has just pushed Grubby so far back that he's allowed himself just to race back up to 5 barracks. He's got the Medivacs on the way. He's going to have +1 combat shields and stim just down the future here. And... overall, this is stabilized a little bit, but you have to favor Dayshi just a tad.
He got his supply blocked here for a second, so he had to use the call-down supply on his expansion. Does he go into a second starport, you think, to try and face this Colossi? Because I think from Grubby, when you see Colossi opener, it's never like 2 Colossi into very quick storm. So I think it would be pretty smart to add a second starport very quickly. But he goes for the 3rd command center.
I have to agree, yeah.
Maybe for the golds. By the way, I have to say, this is not a very sexy base out of Dayshi. Like, I could see units get stuck in like the middle of that starport and factory. And very tech lab heavy, by the way. 3 tech labs on his barracks. Gonna be going very marauder heavy. Maybe pull SCVs on 3 bases. Do a pre-storm timing with the damage that he's done early on.
Yeah, there's
this
a second starport coming in. This map's not the best though for SCV pulls, right? Because of the natural ramp and stuff. It's only 2 force fields. You can hold them back.
You go for the 3rd base.
Yeah, Grubby can always run back up to 2 bases though and survive till storm. And
that's how you defend. But then he will be. Dayshi goes back home and starts mining on 3 bases against the 2 base Protoss. He's in good shape too.
Well, Dayshi's actually moving out now. He's got no Medivac, so there's no healing power here. But there's 4 Vikings already out, and there's very little Stalkers here. There's only 1 to protect the Colossus. I suppose it's the Mothership Core. which he can hug around the Nexus
After
for
the
time
last
being.
game, like the Stalkers are not allowing themselves to be warped in anymore.
I know, they're like, no, I'm not coming to your games today, Grubby. Grubby's like, no, guys, I really need you right now. Stalkers come down there. Oh, 4 Colossus, that's a lot. If Dayshi oversteps his bounds right now, if he goes up there, loses a lot, we could be in trouble. Let's just put it that way.
Game paused.
OMG.
What happens?
I don't know. Grubby paused.
He got, by the way, this natural is getting scanned, and this was posed right at the scan begins. So I think when you get scanned like this, that means the Terran wants to know if he can attack or not. And at this point,
he says no. No, probably not a good idea. And he's going to pull back here. As you said, he does have that 3rd command center ready.
if he takes the gold here, he's going to get so many Vikings that the Colossi are going to be completely useless. Then it comes down to, is there Storm and Charge Lot? But Grubby, his 3rd base, I could see it being delayed indefinitely in this game.
I can see an SCV pull happen here.
But I don't think he even needs to. Like, usually you pull SCVs if you want to attack before Storms, before taking it to the very late game. I don't think he needs to in this game. There is no Storm on the way. Does he realize that? I think Dayshi just takes the 3rd base from now
he's
and then
taking gases up there, so that makes sense. He's got the armory coming in, so he's just going to play this out longer. Oh my god. The game is frozen. Waiting for server.
Who is it?
I don't know.
It's Kailaris again, isn't it?
Damn it, Claris. God damn it, Claris. You are making a lot of people very angry right now, Claris. You need to behave. Right, I don't know what's going on right now, Todd. I'm just going to be honest with you.
I think we should maybe take
the
a little
admin
bit
is paused.
of a break.
I don't know, man. The players have paused it. The admin's paused it, sorry. And we will hold off for a quick second.
This is a very important point in the game, too. Grubby is moving out right now while taking a 3rd. I think he's maybe looking to poke, see if he can maybe take a fight, because he doesn't really have an observer towards Dayshi. So he's sending a Zealot forward right now to see the size of the army, and most likely the Viking count. If he sees like 5 Vikings, he could attack, because he's up to 4 Colossi. I think, a 5th one actually came out. His son is natural, so he could maybe attack with that. We have 8 Vikings on the map right now, though. And with the double starports, with double reactor, Dayshi's making Vikings 4 at a time, and 4 are about to come out. Can you imagine 4 Vikings at a time?
I can imagine 8 plus 4 is 12, and that's a lot.
Can you imagine 1 Colossus is being made at the time, whereas 4 Vikings are being made at the time? It's like, against all odds, man. You might as well quit that production.
This is a difficult one here. We are just looking into the issue, so just bear with us 1 second, everyone, and we will jump into this immediately as well.
Grubby went into double forge, by the way. What do you make of this? You think it's the right choice against what he's facing?
What does he know, first of all? Very little.
He knows that
he knows
Dayshi likes to
5
attack.
barracks and 3 command centers. That's all he knows.
He saw the 3rd command center. I think he knows that Dayshi is going to be skipping on upgrades and Ghost for some time. And Dayshi, as much as he's getting the armor, he's not getting a 2nd eBay and no Ghost Academy either.
I like the decision that Grubby has for what he knows, but for what we know, it's a little bit more dangerous, obviously. Right. There is our wonderful admin who is doing something with Grubby's keyboard. If you've got greasy fingers, man, you are in trouble. You are in trouble, man. Grubby puts his head back on, he's like, oh my god, what have you done?
Go get a handkerchief and clean my keyboard right now, because this is unacceptable. Goes on and tweet about it.
Yeah. Grubby's like, it becomes like a QXC episode where he changes his mouse over and over and over again. All right. So Dayshi seems to be checking out his 6-pack right now.
The Stalker count, by the way, is not that high. It's just 9. You will need a little bit more than this to cover as many as 5 Colossi that Grubby has now. And he queued a 6-1, by the way. So I'm glad we took the time to look at the game. And I finally noticed in the production tab that he has a 6-1 on the way. It doesn't make much sense to attack with a 6-1. This move out by Grubby, where he's right now at the Watchtower, I think he's just to claim the Watchtower and maybe fake an attack. And maybe hope that Dayshi is going to overreact, pull some SCVs to prepare the attack, but then it never comes.
Yeah,
so the
especially
like,
considering that Grubby can start 2-2 now and then fall back on 6. Yeah,
well, actually, he's short on gas. Didn't have that much gas.
I would cancel that 6th Colossus, baby. And then start 2-2.
Die 10 seconds before 2-2 finishes.
Yeah,
because you're missing
God damn it.
Story of my life.
All right. Well, Grubby taking... what do you reckon's going through Grubby's mind right now? You think he's just kind of analysing the situation or just calming himself down?
Yeah, maybe a bit of both.
Thinking about what's for dinner tonight, what Katandra's going to cook. He's like everything. What? Yeah, probably.
Well, if he wins, she has to cook anything he likes because he won. And if he lost, then he's sad, so she has to cook anything he likes. But they are in Germany. Can she cook here?
What a winner. No, probably not. It'll be hotel ordering, I
It'll
imagine.
be takeouts. Room service.
Room service. Definitely room service.
I heard the burger is pretty sick at the hotel, by the way.
Yeah, Dayshi did say.
Well, Dayshi, though. Not the best
He loves a
culinary
burger.
reference.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, the first time Dayshi went to the Millennium House and stayed there for some time, he wrote a blog at the end about how all he ate for like a few weeks or like even a month was croque monsieur. You know what croque monsieur is?
No idea. Is it some kind of fast food chain or something?
No. It's like breads, like toasted breads and ham and cheese in the middle.
Wow.
So that's like super simple. It's pretty good, but he ate that every single day in between practice.
And somehow he decided to get topless on the internet because I've seen that picture after what he ate. All right, guys, we're going to take a standby from the caster's desk as we do just wait for this issue to be resolved. And for what I've been told, we have Kalaris and Red Eye waiting.
Yes, thank you, Sean. Kalaris, always difficult when we get moments like this. Players often have to have quite a bit of resilience about them and just put it to the back of their minds. What do you think is going through Grubby's mind right now?
A lot of tension. It's certainly an odd issue, especially after how game number 1 unfolded, and that had to have blindsided him a little bit. I'm not a pro gamer, so I can't really empathize entirely with how someone would feel in this situation, unlike people like Todd, for example. But if it was me, I'd be shaken, man. I'd be shaken.
Luckily, it's not you sitting over there then, because Grubby looks like he's got heart of steel right now. Dayshi, on the other hand, played a great game, first game. I don't think he did an awful lot wrong. I mean, it seemed like he took a little bit too long to get it finished, in a way, and I know that he doesn't want to play long games, so how much do you think that affects him?
The way in which game number 1 unfolded was very interesting, and again, he certainly brought his own flavour to it. Moving into game number 2, it's a bit more normal, in essence. So I think with 1 game up, I think, looking at the situation we have right now, I think he'll be, be okay, just kind of going through the paces, going through the motions. But I imagine just with the momentum kind of, being shifted straight to pause and then you're just stopping, that can always kind of hit hard, I imagine.
Okay, we'll keep you up to date with any improvements in the position. Apparently we can go now back to our commentary team. So let's get the thoughts of Todd and Apollo, who, of course, was also a pro gamer at one point. I wonder how they would be taking this right now.
Thank you very much, guys, and welcome back to the casting desk. We can actually jump right into game. It has started immediately here, so we need to get into the action. Remember, Grubby currently trailing this. Needs this map win to stay in the tournament.
I like the hallucination here. He's going to see exactly the size of that army of Dayshi. What does he decide? He moves forward. Oh my god. He's going to engage.
1 Viking down, 2 Viking down, but that's 2 Vikings for 1 Colossus. That's pretty good there for Dayshi. And he's picking up quite a few of these Stalkers who did blink forward to get towards the Vikings in the first place.
The
And that's a
mothership's gonna
lot
come
down.
in. Double time warp available, but is it going to matter?
Is he
all
want to
that
get
much?
out here?
He could
Don't you
recall.
want to recall here? Scan ahead, the Vikings chasing down another time. Well, okay, you're not getting out here, so the mothership core does get picked off by Dayshi.
I'm surprised Dayshi did not chase much further here.
Yeah.
There's so few stalkers to help him defend. Grubby re-warped a few of them to really help with this.
A pretty tense situation here. Grubby fighting for his tournament life in the World Championship Series here in the round of 16. And a double drop, as we used to call it, a Drooby drop, if I remember. It doesn't matter, I forget that reference.
A Drooby drop against Grubby?
I think it was like a double Drooby drop or something like that, the double D drop or whatever. Whoa, fantastic blink there from Grubby. Woohoo! Fancy little stutter-steppy little blinky-winky over there. And
5 Colossus are on the map, a 6th one is on the way, but there's not enough stalkers to cover this.
Yeah.
He sent them to the main.
And this third Nexus is getting targeted down. The Vikings are going to town on these Colossus, but because there's 4 or 5 of them, they're not exactly going down very fast. And the Stalkers are back in time, and he's managed to pick off 1 or 2 of those Vikings.
And Dayshi only had 2 medivacs, which he sent to the main, so he had no one with this army, so this army became quite garbage. He has to go back now.
And all of a sudden, from one end of the table to the other, we have Grubby marching through the middle of the map here. There's a medivac full of units! Oh, it survives! I don't know how that survived. The Colossus coming to the fight, but there's still a lot of Vikings here. Grubby's fighting in a very dangerous position. He needs to hold strong here. The Vikings are standing tall in the air. They're targeting different Colossus, though they're not really targeting specific Colossus, which does allow them to last a little bit longer here.
Being
But
so order heavy really helps Dayshi. If he had a lot more Marines against the Colossi, he would have gotten fried here. But at this point, there was no charge.
Yeah, Grubby needs to slow this game down a little bit here. Does not want to be taking those fights in the middle like that, especially when they're so 50-50 almost, it feels.
I think Dayshi made way... He had 2 starports with 2 reactors. He made way too many Vikings. He overcommitted. He had only 2 medivacs. Then he dropped in the main. And that was bad. This was spotted by Grubby. This was well defended. If Dayshi had committed everything to the 3rd base, he could have done a lot more damage and maybe ended the game. Whew. He's still ahead on supply, though.
All right. Well, the game continues on. I think that every game I've commentated that Grubby's been playing in throughout his StarCraft career, it seems to be one of the most heart-throbbing games you can ever watch. He's always putting his fans on the edge of the seat, and I think this is another one right here, right now. He's always potentially one wrong move away from being out of the tournament.
Or one right move.
Or one right move from staying in. An observer here just having a look around. There are 2 free medivacs in the middle, and we've talked about the abundance of medivacs here. He doesn't want to just having those loosely placed around. An attack coming out from Dayshi that has 9 Vikings.
He starts Storm when he's about to be attacked again.
9 Vikings, 3 Colossus?
Yeah, this is not looking
very good.
He
needs Storm. He's got 4 high tempo. He needs Storm somehow.
I don't think he's going to complete Storm before this next attack.
SpaghettiOs.
I'm really surprised that Grubby keeps on going for Storm in this situation when he's about to be attacked, but somehow Dayshi is taking his sweet time here.
Yeah, and that's good for Grubby. That is good for Grubby here. Little does Dayshi know that Storm is not complete. He's picked up everything, though.
This was spotted. He cannot really blink in there, though. But Grubby's not moving back to the main.
I don't think he saw it. I'm not sure he saw it. That's a
he
massive
had an observer
unload.
just right above.
Maybe he wasn't paying attention, I don't know, but that's a massive unload inside Grubby's main base here. And there's also units on the 3rd which are being dealt with very easily. Okay, that's just an instant win for Grubby, but inside the main base, at least 2-2 completed for heaven's sake, but everything else is in danger. A good Zealot warp in there, and Dayshi's taking a lot of the heat of those Zealots.
To be honest, this is not doing all that much by Dayshi. This is being defended very well by all of those charge loss and the units that were there. Grubby going in from behind to try and get the snipe on those medivacs and Vikings with all of his stalkers. He knows he has enough in his main to help and defend. 4 Templars actually wants to get a piece of those medivacs.
A potential of an awesome move there from Grubby, but not today. Not today.
Wow. Do you think Dayshi anticipated that?
I'm not sure. I don't think so, actually. I don't think so. I think he just left out that way. Could have, though. Could have. Don't want to take credit away from him. He could have.
And just like that, Grubby now has Storm. He's on Colossus tech.
Yeah.
He's killed a whole bunch of Vikings. There's still 15 against 3 Colossi, so that's okay for Dayshi. Storm is a big deal. And I think he's going to start having a lot of Templars too. He has 4 right now. Yeah. They didn't die. They didn't use all that much energy. Grubby actually starts 3-3. He's confident enough to start that.
Ghosts are now coming out. We have the gold base being taken from the original command center inside the main base. So Dayshi just, he's aggressive. He needs to be and continue to be aggressive here, because the longer this game goes on, 3-3 will complete. There are high tempo, and that's an aggressive blink forward there by Grubby. And fantastic follow-up storms there, bringing every single one of the Vikings to orange health here, half health. And just a couple more, and all of them will absolutely just evaporate here.
This is a great position for Grubby to claim here. He's going to be able to kill SCVs at the gold base from afar. He has the vision with the watchtower as well. Well, Dayshi has vision with the scanner.
Some great EMPs there. 4 high Templar. That's the only ones he has right now.
He cannot run away. And there's not that many stalkers to cover and kill those Vikings. I think all the Colossi die, and from there, Dayshi presses forward.
The Stalkers. Stalkers, come on, bring these left on you to units down. The great storm there from Grubby, and they're all red. But all the Colossus do die. And the Vikings trade off their lives for that. They trade off their lives for that, and now the next follow-up attack. But there's a lot of ghosts. And
there's no more EMPs, the single one.
He's got 1 storm there with the main army. He does land, but there's not really hitting too much, and Grubby has to fight in. He's got Zealots and Immortals dealing out a lot of damage here, but Dayshi's got a lot. Grubby is hurting, Grubby is dying, Grubby is down in supply right now, and Dayshi EMPs once again a Colossus, but there are no Vikings. If he can somehow get the Zealots in front of the Colossus, he needs that Colossus to survive here. Can they do their job for Ire? Just sacrifice yourselves, guys. Jump right in and let the Colossus and the Immortals deal the damage. But there seems to be a little bit too many units here for Dayshi. And he's pushing forward with a 70 supply advantage. And Dayshi, who is currently leading already, Colossus gets stuck anyway. The most annoying thing to happen. And it looks like the Frenchman in a stutter step of Wag is going to be able to take this 2-0 by the looks of it. Grubby is down and defeated.
Grubby starts another robo in 2 gates.
Right before 3-3-2. It's painful, to say the least. Absolutely painful here. And the 180 supply to 70. And I think Dayshi and Grubby started to realize the problem here, as they both have paused again. And Grubby's tournament life is about ended.
Yeah, 72 supply against 181. He hasn't been macroing during that whole fight. He's gone up to one. Actually, it's funny how it's round numbers. 1,350 minerals, 1,200 gas, and
yeah, not looking good.
Yeah, this is going to be a victory very hard to swallow here for Grubby.
Yeah, I mean,
defeat. Sorry,
especially with the little bit of latency, and I think Grubby just says, "Let's go, whatever." I think he realizes he's about to be knocked out of this tournament, and Dayshi is kind of taking his win here. Daysho, as the French do say. And ready has been called by both players. We are into it, and Grubby's lost his 3rd and is about to lose his 4th as well. And despite 3-3 completing, this is a bit of a sad end for Grubby. He got 2 round of 32s last year. He got a round of 4 in the 2nd season, but it is Dayshi who, for the first time, being in the round of 16, is going to be able to go on, by the looks of it, into the decider game in a Terran versus Jakchi, unless somehow, some way, Dayshi disconnects and it has the rematch, which probably will never happen.
Jackie is patiently waiting, man.
He is, and
patiently
waiting for his next victim. And Grubby just, with 90 supply, seems to be just holding on for everything, but it is the Frenchman.
Grubby takes the gold.
Who drops Ghost with a couple of EMPs, kind of missed the high tempo, which is the probably goal for that, but a fancy move. I would think so.
Single Zealot harass at the goal base. Be taken out.
Yeah, and Grubby moves out into the open, which is a very dangerous place to be when you have sub 90 supply here, as Dayshi's army is remarkable at this point.
Hero Zealot, man. That's where great comeback started from.
Yes, I suppose you can look at it that way. Storms on the Vikings here, and the Archons and Stalkers do get to them, but as you can see, there is a lot of bio here and limited amounts of Storm. Grubby dances his Colossus, he realizes this game is over. GG is called, and Dayshi moves on to the decider and will face off against My Insanity's Jakchi to find out who will go in 2nd place. Grubby going over there, shaking the hands of his opponent. But this tournament, this season, is not for this man right there. A little bit unfortunate, of course, knowing that he put a lot of preparation coming into this, but it is the Frenchman who lives on and now must tackle a Korean in the form of My Insanity's Jakchi in the next game here. And we'll be looking forward to that Terran versus Terran. Your overall thoughts of that series here, and Grubby's day, of course, being a Protoss, and yourself?
Pretty sad for Grubby. I mean, I've known him a long time, and this is a tough loss here. He made it to the round 16, which in itself it's pretty impressive, but Dayshi here was, I guess, a little bit too much for him, and that game on Frost, as much as I think if you know about that strategy, it's going to be easier to play against it. I'm still not sure.
Yeah.
I actually thought beforehand that if I have to play against this again and I know it's coming, I would win. But now, I have a few doubts.
All right, well, it looks like the post-match interview is ready. So, Red Eye and Dayshi, let's hear some words.
Dayshi, congratulations. You've just beaten Grubby 2-0 in your group. First time that you've played in a round of 16, and you've got a win on the board, which is great. We saw you earlier on as well. I want to talk a little bit about that as well. But first, let's talk about the match itself. Game 1 for you. Did everything go the way that you thought it would go? It was a very long game, and I know you've been trying to avoid the long game. So was that still okay for you?
I wanted to play something that he's not used to, obviously, and something that doesn't require like a big amount of multitask or something. It's just some kind of a surprise. And it worked pretty well. I still pushed myself because he was obviously playing real well, and I had to multitask still. And I'm really happy that it worked, actually.
Yeah, I mean, those Massalians did a good job early game, late, mid game, and then late game. I mean, to me and to the guys we were watching together, it felt like it was inevitable you were going to win, but it just took you a little bit too long at the end. Why was that?
Yeah, because with the Hellion, it took an advantage. Without that, with Mech, it's kind of impossible to win against Protoss, but with that advantage, it's still hard to like just finish the game. And yeah, that's why it took so long. It's hard.
Just very patient as well. Game 2, always difficult when there were pauses on both sides as well. How do you stay focused?
Second game?
Yeah, in the second game, how do you stay focused when there's pauses happening and you're thinking about the game and what have you?
Actually, I thought I had the game really early on when I just dropped and killed like, I don't know, maybe 20 probes or something. And I thought I had the game just now, and then I just saw that he took a third at the same time as me, and I was like, oh. Then he pushed, and I thought you had just 4 color side without support, and I see like Blink Stalkers, 1-1. I was like, what the fuck? and and then, yeah, with the pause, I was still like, I'm a bit ahead, and let's just play something good, and yeah.
Okay. I think it's really important for the guys that don't know much about you to kind of get your personality across. And I know that you did that early with the wink. It's already on Reddit, by the way. And also just, talking to Todd during the analysis and breaking it down. What's it been like for you playing against great players like Grubby and coming to WCS in round of 16?
Well, it's definitely a great event. I always like this kind of event when you can talk to the players in between games and do some fun things. And yeah, it's a great experience as well as a player. I mean, playing against Newt and Grubby, and like there is a lot of pressure here, even though it's not in front of 5,000 people in live. It's still like, it's WCS, so you have pressure, and yeah, it's good to have some wins.
Okay, one more game. Jack G, no problem, right?
Yeah.
We'll leave it there. Thank you very much. Dayshi is through to our final game of the night. He'll take on Jack G in our very next game. Don't go too far away. We'll be back in a few.